will do. And why we people, most of them from secular environment, will do this? Is it for only sawab only, or to not get the punishment in the akhirah? Why should we people do it? Say something.
See, the questions are getting more challenging now.
Let me answer this one.
These two I found these two.
Let me answer this one. The other one is very difficult. This one is easy. Bangla ফকির আসছে ভিক্ষা চেয়েছে মা এক টাকা দাও আমাকে কিছু পয়সা দাও মা কিছু পয়সা দাও আমাকে আমি খাই নাই 3 দিন তো মায়ের বউ ছিল একটু এইতে তো টাকা পয়সা কিছু দিতে চায় না ভিক্ষা টিকে দিতে চায় তো ভিতর থেকে রেগে বলছে থাম থাম তোর আমি ছাই দেবো তো মা বলছে যে মা ছাই দে দিয়ে দিয়ে তোর হাতটা খুলবে তো
খুলবে তো বেগিনি আজকে ছাই দিলে কালকে টাকা দিবে
আজকে ছাই দিলে কালকে টাকা দিবে হ্যাঁ গ্রসারি The beggar came asking, begging, and the lady inside, the young one, she was very angry why he is there. So he said, wait, I'll give you ashes. Means, so the mother said, okay my daughter, go and give ashes. Today you give ashes, tomorrow you will give money. So he started by giving ashes. What I have said is true, okay? If you are talking about Islamization of knowledge, okay, first of all, Islamization of knowledge is not easy. It's not easy. So if you are thinking it is easy, sit down and write, please give it up. Okay? It's not easy. It is difficult. And that's why you are here. If it was easy, every Tom, Dick and Harry would be doing it. We don't need you. You are an educated person. I think you have the commitment to Islam. I think you want to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Islamization is a jihad for the intellectuals. And it's not for the kifaya, it's for the ayn, for all the educated people. Every single one of you should do it. If it's easy, everybody would be doing it. Why are you here? Why do you have to do it? So if you think that it is for that one, then it is not for you. And if you think that you are secular and you don't have the knowledge, who says that you cannot acquire that knowledge? I don't know anything. I do it. When I don't understand, I go to Prof. Kamal, ask him how many times I bothered him. I would go to my friends, ulama and fuqaha, I said, I don't know where it is, so could you give me? Many times I would call my colleagues in the revealed knowledge, I would say, hey, is there any Quranic ayat or is there any hadith which fits into it? Is there any hadith which is critical of what I'm trying to say? Many times they would come and help me. I don't have any problem asking them. What I don't know. And I have no qualm about saying, I'm sorry, I don't know. But I'm not ashamed of asking and benefiting from it. And therefore, in the early days when we were talking about, when Ismail Farooqi's 12-step plan came in, people were asking whether we can do it, how do we do it? Oh, it's very ambitious. He said, it's not necessary that one man should do it. Let's a group of people who do it. Let the ulama and the juhala all meet together and write something. If ulama are not going to do, let the juhala write, and let the juhala benefit from the ulama and write it. But for sure, it is a difficult job. Okay? But you can start by doing what you are saying. Start by giving ashes. One day, inshallah, something good will come out of it. And you are not doing it for money. And if you are doing it for money, then don't come into it. This is not a money-making enterprise. Okay? Most of the time you will not be appreciated. Most of the time people would not like you. Most of the time you will face all kinds of names. Oh, he's a conservative, he's a fundamentalist. Yeah. And you will find all kinds. This is not an appreciating thing. It's a jihad you have to do to save yourself, to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is not a question of giving you incentives to do this. I don't think incentives can make you write it. I don't think workshops can make you write it. It's a question of will and determination and your belief in the akhirah. Should I go to the...
You are brave enough, please.
There is no answer to your question. I don't know. We need another workshop to tell you exactly how do we do it, okay? The simplest way I can answer that question is this. Take the Western concept, look at it critically, provide the critique of it, then look at, is there equivalent Islamic concepts in the Quran and the Sunnah and the Hadith, in the writings of our ulama? Did they use a similar, something, the term is different, but did they use something similar? Okay, if it is, then you are happy, you are very lucky, okay. We have a similar concept, but it has not used, so you bring it in, and then you say, okay, this is the concept, and then you move into the Islamic part of it. And when you find a concept, Western concept, and then you have an Islamic concept, they don't match. That's where you come in, compare the two. Look at the strength and weaknesses of each. See where they converge, and see where they diverge. Okay, is the divergence acceptable from Quran and Sunnah perspective? If it is, okay, no problem. If it is not, then you have to reject. That's what I said, adopt, adapt, and reject. Yeah. This is the simplest answer. Overly simple. It's not as easy as I have described.
Okay,
Did I answer that?
Well, this requires much more discussion.
Much more discussion.
You know, I'm very happy because if you listen to what Prof. Rashid is saying today, what Prof. Osmani said yesterday, what Prof. Kamal said yesterday, you can see the benefit of having an institutional support for this agenda. And I look at it in terms of in Bangladesh, maybe you don't have the university that is doing this, but you have the IIT. And therefore, the fact that all of you are together in this program, in other programs, and so on, this will build. And I you know, it's the three of them didn't meet before coming here and said the same thing, but they have said the same thing. It is the jihad, and therefore this is something which comes because we've been in this mission for some time. Secondly, I also just want to add, if you remember, Prof. Kamal yesterday said you have 1 star Islamization, 2 star. So this is a good way to look at it. For those of us who are new and you are coming into it, look at your contribution as something which is at the starting stage. And then as you go along, you will improve. If you take, as what Prof. Rashid said, you take the view that you're not willing to say that you don't know, you're willing to ask people, and so on. So I think that's the only way to do it. The brother at the back first, yes.
So I have 2 questions. First of all, I would like to know about the term you have used, worldview. What is the meaning, number 1, elaborately, and can it be replaced by any other interesting or exciting word? Sometimes.
Well shot. That is another term for worldview. Well shot. Prof, is that correct?
I just want to add that Mauludi in his book in Urdu mentions tasawwuri hayat, and he uses the word tasawwuri hayat, many times in his book, and that is worldview, the conception of life.
From there it has been.
Yeah, Weltanschauung means the way you look at the world. But in Urdu, Maududi has come up with the word tasavvuri hayat.
And second question is, which citing method would be the best?
তাসাউফুর হায়াতের বাংলা অনুবাদ হবে
জীবন উদ্দেশ্য।
জীবন উদ্দেশ্য, ইসলামী জীবন উদ্দেশ্য। That would be তাসাউফুর হায়াত, that is the world view. এবং সব কিছুর পিছনে একটা ওয়ার্ল্ড ভিউ আছে, তাই না? আমরা যা কিছু করি সব কিছুর পিছনে, আমরা খেতে বসলে আমরা হাত ধুই কেন? হ্যাঁ, আমরা কাঁচা চামচ দিয়ে খেতে পারি।
জীবন দর্শন,
জীবন দর্শন, ইসলামী জীবন দর্শন। কিন্তু ইসলামিক ওয়ে অফ লাইফ উড বি জীবন ব্যবস্থা, ইসলামী জীবন দর্শন। দ্যাটস আ ভেরি গুড ওয়ান। সুতরাং সব কিছুর পিছনে একটা দর্শন আছে, তাই না? আমরা একে অপরের সাথে দেখা হলে আমরা আসসালামু আলাইকুম বলি কেন? No problem. When we meet each other, why do we greet each other by saying assalamu alaikum? Why cannot we say hi? Americans do it, hi, finished. No. But if you look at this assalamu alaikum and hi, there is a gulf of difference, you know. When we say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, we are not talking to each other from an Islamic point of view. When I see my brother, okay, I bring Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in between. So when I don't say hi, I say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I'm saying, oh Allah, please shower mercy on him. And then he says, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I say, oh Allah. Okay, so he is not telling me, I'm not telling him. So it is a triangular conversation. The Westerners are doing it's a dialectic 1-to-1. It's directly 1-to-1. But always, whenever we are doing, we have our own way of life, our own worldview. So we always bring Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in between. Now that makes hell of a difference. So it is not simply a question of eating with hand and question of eating with, behind eating with hand and eating with forks and spoons, there is a worldview involved in it. And that we have to understand. And that makes all the difference in the world.
Which citing method would be the best to follow? Oxford, there are many referencing style.
There is APA. We developed our own, isn't it? We have IIUM. We have developed our own method of citation, which is not very popular because we are not using it. Islamically acceptable way of doing it. But the most popular one, even in IIUM, officially we use either Chicago style or APA style. Okay, either one of them is acceptable. Mixing is not allowed. So if you are using Chicago, stick with Chicago. If you are using APA, stick with APA, but don't mix and match.
in most of the classes APA.
No, it depends. It varies from discipline to
Actually,
discipline.
Professor,
Yes.
one thing, actually, we have business faculty, maximum faculty member of business studies and business administration. We have lot of Western literature. We have lot of Western literature. So, this question by Brother Rahim's question, how can we can citation? We can do this, that one conception, that means 10 lines. If we quote 7 words continuously in same tense, it will be plagiarism. But we can do the 10 lines in our own word. We can just rearrange this idea in our own word, and still we can make a reference.
Oh yes.
It will be wise because
That one is called paraphrasing.
Yes.
You paraphrase the whole quotation and using your own terminology, your own terms, and then you cite.
Yes.
Okay? Citation you must still do in order to show that it is not your idea. Because plagiarism refers not only to the borrowing of the text, also borrowing the ideas. No, so you must acknowledge where you are. I think this is highly Islamic. Okay, Islam encourages you to say, to thank
Yeah.
to those from whom you have learned. No, the hadith. If you have learned even one word from somebody, he is your teacher and you must respect him. So it comes in from there. But APA or Chicago style, you can use either one of them. We have our own IIUM style. You can also look into that one. But whichever one you are using, it's perfectly okay to me personally. Yes.
Yes, maybe this may be the. You've already asked us now, right? Your question?
Yes.
Was that the question you asked us now?
Yes.
Okay, so 1 and 2, maybe this will be the final 2.
Do you think?
Prof, sorry, can you just, I didn't realize that, Prof. Rashid, and you are not known to each other, so can you please just introduce yourself and where you are from, so that we, you want to do it, but okay, then go ahead.
Do you think that inclusion of case studies is a must in the textbook? There are two contexts. Textbooks are developed on the basis of theoretical knowledge, but case studies should be developed on the basis of real life situations. So in our country, to get the data or information from real life situation is very, very difficult, which is not at all difficult in advanced countries like country that.
Yes, there was one more, yes, brother.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. Can I sit and talk?
Please do.
I have learned that it is not Islamic to stand and show your respect.
Oh,
So,
really? Okay, now that puts me in a very tough position. Okay. Go ahead.
so from your experience, can you tell me that when I'm writing a textbook, you have to do a lot of things together, like I think the worldview and then appendix, index, glossaries. So how do you do it all together? Should you write the write-ups first and then you think about all those things, or you simultaneously do all those things? Which one you should advise? And another thing is that BIIT and IIT concept. So far we have told that in Bangladesh case, it is difficult to put a book saying that this is an Islamic book. And our idea was to just, the things are all the similar things will be there, and also the little bit of Islamic concept. This is the starting. So if I start with worldview and all those things, then it will become totally an Islamic concept, like in finance or accounting, whatever. So it is difficult for us to introduce. We have talked about this yesterday. So what should you advise?
Prof, what they've been asked to do by BIIT is this.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. What you are doing is you are putting materials with Islamic emphasis without going into deeper into it. But I thought that it is essential that I should bring out these things because most people don't talk about it, and they assume that everything is Islamization of knowledge. Everything is not Islamization of knowledge. So the first 3 things and 4 things, they are not Islamization of knowledge. I'm not saying they are not essential, they are not useful. They are extremely useful and we should do it, until and unless we reach the level where we can do Islamization, okay? So do whatever we can and inshallah we will progress from there. Case studies are supportive of the theoretical knowledge that you impart. It makes people realize that what you are doing. Therefore, I suggested that wherever possible, when you are talking about Islamic things, you should try to bring in some kind of Islamic elements, case studies that you can. There are many, many cases which are not recorded in our culture. Many, many things which are not recorded. And the reason is nobody ever bothered to find it out. Okay? So while it is not absolutely essential to have the case study, it is advisable that we should have as much as possible. Okay? Theory and applied must go hand in hand. Knowledge for the sake of knowledge has no value in Islam. Knowledge must be used in order to uplift the condition of the ummah. Otherwise, it's not. So if case studies help you to do that one, we should do case studies as much as possible. Again, it's not easy, we have to do it. Learning objectives, glossaries. Learning objectives usually comes first. Okay, you should, before you sit down and write, you must know why you are writing. You must know why you are writing, what are the objectives behind you writing, what is it that you would like to convey. Therefore, even in the West, they always tell you, you must have a statement of the problem, you must have a justification of the problem, you must have the objectives of study. What are your objectives? What is it that you are doing? So if that one is clear, okay, then you should go ahead and start writing. Glossaries would come later. Appendix would come later. While you are writing it, you may realize that, okay, this one, it does not fit in here, but it has some relevance to what I'm saying. Take it to the appendix. Okay. In survey research, when we do the surveys, survey is Islamic, there is nothing wrong in doing survey. When we do the survey, we don't put the questionnaire into the text. But some people would like to know the questionnaire, so we put the questionnaire in the appendix. Okay. Now, when we are analyzing the surveys, the materials, we classify the materials, we organize it, we present it in tabular forms. There are much more information are left out, which we have not used it. Now you may think that this is useful for others, you may put it in your appendix. So it depends upon what you are studying and where you are doing it. And as you progress, you should learn, and you will learn, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair. Yes, Prof. Kamal has the...
Thank you very much. I just want to...
Prof, you are not allowed to ask questions.
I just want to support...
Okay, good.
Okay. I was just thinking that what my brother, Professor Rashid has talked about Islamization is talking about the ideal situation as explained by the foremost exponents in this area. And that is the ideal, that is the climax, and of course certain people are capable of that, Mr. Latif and a few others. But if we see Islamization as a process towards perfection, not a process of perfection itself, because even when we take the word Islam, it is a process, unless of course you're looking at Islam as the point of perfection. So min husni Islam al-mar'i, among the things that the good things of Islam of a person, submission of a person to God is that he does not get involved in things which do not concern him. That is just one of the points in the process towards achieving the goal of Islam, which is the highest taqwa, ihsan, and dhikrullah and all that. So if we look at Islamization as a process towards perfection, I think then many people can come on board. I think the most important thing is sincerity to go on the journey. And there are people who can go very fast because, and there are people who have with it time to develop. So I would rather look at it from that perspective rather than just what Prof. Abdul Rashid is. He takes you right away to the summit. And he has reached the summit. But the others have to, crawl to get there. And I think we need to encourage more and more people to get on board. So that's just, supporting your ideas.
I fully concur with you. That's what I said in Bengali language to them. The beggar coming and begging. Now the lady does not want to give anything. So out of anger she says, I will give you ashes. That was an anger. So mother says, give ashes. Gradually you will get used to giving money.
Okay, we've come to the end of the session. Time is already over the 4 o'clock limit. But I've been asked by Brother Abdul Aziz to again request everybody to just briefly introduce yourself for the benefit of Prof. Rashid. so that you will also know from where you are coming from, which university. I actually thought that all of you know each other already, but apparently not. So this is one of the problems of economists. We make assumptions, and as we will discuss tomorrow, assumptions can be false. Okay.
This is Dr. Muhammad Mainuddin, Professor, Department of Accounting and Information Systems, Rashidmoten University.
How are you? I am Abdul, lecturer in accounting, Islamic University, Chicago.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Muhammad Jahirul Haq, Professor of Accounting, Eastern University, Dhaka.
So he was a professor of Chicago University.
Yes, sisters, maybe we finish here.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Kaji Farzana, Assistant Officer, Department of Business Administration, International Islamic University, Chicago, Dhaka campus.
Assalamu alaikum. Sina Fatuma, lecturer in marketing, International Islamic University, Chicago. Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. wctb, Professor of Finance and Banking Department, but at this moment I am the campus in charge, female campus at International Islamic University, Chicago.
Prof. Kamal, Islamic University Chittagong is our own creation. For note.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Dr. Guru, Assistant Professor of Management, International Islamic University, Chittagong, Dhaka. And I am engaged to write on the book textbook, Total Quality Management. I'm Farhana Firdausi. I'm Assistant Professor of the Department of Business Administration, East West University, Bangladesh.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Abdul Jamal, Assistant Director PIIT.
Yes, our brother in front here, please.
Professor Dr. Muhammad Sina, Department of Accounting and Information Systems, Islamic University, Kushtia.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Muhammad Abbas Ali Khan. I am professor in the Department of Management Studies, University of Dhaka.
Assalamu alaikum. Dr. Islam Musa Hussain, Professor of Finance, University of Dhaka.
Assalamu alaikum. Mujahidul Islam, Professor, Department of Banking and Insurance, Dhaka University.
Dr. Ghulam Muhyiddin, University of Technology, Malaysia, Faculty of Management and Human Development. Previously, I was in Islamic University, Kushtia.
I'm Muhammad Saiful Islam, Associate Professor of Economics, Chittagong University.
Shirazul Islam, Associate Professor of Finance, International Islamic University, Chittagong.
Dr. Farid Ahmad Subhani, Professor, Department of Business Administration, International Islamic University, Chittagong.
This is Mohammad Ismail Hussain, lecturer in accounting, Department of Business Administration, Islam, Bangladesh Islamic University.
Mahathir Alam, senior lecturer in marketing, Manarat International University.
Najamul Haq, Assistant Professor of Management, International Islamic University, Chittagong.
I am Muhammad Abdul Jalil, lecturer, International Islamic University, Malaysia.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Ataur, Author of Economics Department, North-South University.
Sir Rashidmoten 3, Assistant Professor in Finance in Southeast University.
Why did you change your opinion so easily and stand up now?
It's
okay. Yes.
Just following the house. Following the world.
Following the world view.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Mahfuzur Rahman, lecturer in finance, Southeast University, Bangladesh.
Abdullah Raihan, Assistant Professor Economics, International Islamic University, Chittagong, Dhaka campus.
Muhammad Shariful Haq, Assistant Professor Marketing, Department of Business Administration, International Islamic University, Chittagong.
We are in Dhaka campus. Assistant Director, Bangladesh Institute of Islamic Research.
Abdullah Amin, Assistant Director Research, BIIT.
Assalamualaikum. This is Faisal Khan, Master Student, Economics Department, International Islamic University, Malaysia.
Okay, thank you very much for again introducing yourself and so on. We've come to the end of this afternoon's session. I'd like to thank Professor Rashid for spending his time and for all of you to make this session really, I think, a very fruitful session. A lot of issues have been identified. I just want to maybe end by just reminding all of us when Marhum Ismail Faruqi came up with his 12-point plan. The last or the 11th step in this 12-point plan was textbooks. And one of the complaints that many people always give when we go and speak and so on, where are the textbooks? And because of that, they criticize the whole project as being something that is not attainable. I think we have to look at it, as Prof. Kamal mentioned, it's a long journey. And if I can just also mention what Professor Atas once mentioned to us, when he was asked continuously, where is the output? You've been talking about this for 20 years at that time. His answer was, why are we all in a rush? Why are we all in a rush? If we do it correctly, it will take at least 2 generations. If we do it correctly. Okay, so now, I'm quite sure we're not doing it 100% correctly, so it's going to take time. If we take Adam Smith's Wealth of Nations as the starting point of economics, 1776. If we take Islamic economics, contemporary Islamic economics, 1976, first conference in Makkah, it's only 40 years old. So we have 200 years tradition in Quran. So it's going to take time, right? So with that in mind, let us all, keep this with us, that tomorrow we will meet and discuss in the areas of economics and so on. We will be going to the main campus. We take a break now. We have a short refreshment, and then we have your Salatul Asr, and then we have some free time, inshallah, to do your thinking of assignments or whatever it is you want to do.
You have to put assignment on writing?
Well, we would prefer if you put it down in writing, but we're not making it a must. But if you can, it would be good to have it in writing so that we can, better utilize these inputs. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa
I'm
আমি